Big Silz National Football Show. How you doing? And I might have to have a change in direction here for this Saturday game on Christmas Eve. I may have a change in direction here. Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully everybody has all their Christmas shopping done. I'm looking forward to Christmas Eve fish dinner. Scungili, lobster, you know, the whole 9 yards. Great time, football and food, right? And Christmas. And having the ones you love around you. Great time of the year. I thank you so much for what you guys have done this year for our show. You guys have been spectacular. Thank you very much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. One of the greatest Christmases I could ever have is the fact that you guys come aboard with us. No question. By the way, Philly 500. In hour number 3 at 5:30 Eastern, you know he's ready to rock. Cowboys and Eagles. What more do you want, right? Cowboys and Eagles. Hey, first and foremost, I got a kind of a subtopic right off the top here. Kudos to Doug Peterson. Doug, way to go, dude. You are totally a GOAT coach. Turning that shitbox Jacksonville Jaguars franchise around in 1 year after the massive dump that Urban Meyer took on Shade Khan's team has been remarkable, the turnaround. Trevor Lawrence looks like a superstar quarterback. Everything we thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be, I think they're going to win their division, and I think the Jags are going to make the postseason now. I think they're going to make the postseason. Get this. Here's Trevor Lawrence's numbers. 531 attempts, 350 incompletions. This guy's thrown for 3,749 yards and 24 touchdowns and 7 picks. I mean, this guy doesn't even resemble the guy of a year ago. 65.9 in completion percentage, 96 QBR. He's on pace for 4,200 yards and 27 touchdowns with 7 picks. He's got 5 now. He's on pace for this. Unbelievable turnaround, man. What a turnaround. Way to go, Doug. Ask you this. If Doug gets that Jags team into the postseason, who's your coach of the year? The former Philly head coach or the current Philly head coach? What Eagle guy, ex now, Jags coach now, deserves the Coach of the Year award? Who would you give that award to? What Doug Peterson has done? Dude, let's not forget something. He not only turned the franchise around, but he made a franchise quarterback turn around. I think it's Doug Peterson. I think it's been more impressive. So you're trying to tell me you think it's more impressive what Nick Sirianni has done than what Doug Peterson has done? No way. No way. Doug's done a great – dude, I think Doug Peterson, Dan Campbell, I think those guys have all done spectacular jobs. I'm not dissing Nick in the job that he's done. I am not dissing that. I'm just saying this, dude. I'm saying that I think Doug Peterson has done a hell of a job. I think Doug deserves it. I really do. I think I would give Doug Peterson my Coach of the Year vote. Now, he's got to do it still. I think here's who I think the race is. I think it's Nick Sirianni, Dan Campbell, and Doug Peterson. Those 3 guys. Who would have thought Dan Campbell at 1-6 would be in the conversation for NFL Coach of the Year? Good job, the kneecap eater. I love it here. All right. Let's get into Cowboys and Eagles. I've changed my opinion on this game, just so you know. We're going to look at Week 16 of the NFL. Some college bowl games over the weekend. Cowboys by the numbers heading into this game against the Eagles. Also, the MVP race. I got some thoughts on that. All right. Here we go. What happens on Saturday in Arlington? Cowboys blow a 17-point lead against the Jaguars team, which looks pretty good now. Do you know if the Cowboys win against The Eagles, this will be the third 10-win team they've beaten this year. Pretty impressive. I know they've had stumbles along the way. 17-point lead. You dropped the game in overtime to the Jags this past weekend, 40-34. A lot of missteps, a lot of bad coaching, a lot of bad decisions by players in that game, especially late in that ball game. And I thought Trevor Lawrence was spectacular. You go back and you watch that game, man, Lawrence is figuring it out. And it's because of the guidance of Doug Peterson. Micah Parsons and the Cowboys, they've got to get to Minshew. They've got to get to him. Last 2 games, 1 sack. There's your game. It's going to be in the trenches. This is going to be a ball game in the trenches. If Dallas can't block the Eagles' front 7, it's over. Vice versa. Personally, I think the advantage is on Philly's side in this dynamic. Now, here's the reason you're seeing more turnovers with Dak than you did with Jalen and now with Minshew starting this weekend. The Cowboys have higher percentage turnover plays. What does that mean? They throw the ball more. Any team that throws the ball. Here, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to kind of jump the gun here. Do you understand when I say something? So when you guys keep throwing to me interceptions and turnovers with Allen and Mahomes, Jalen Hurts is throwing the ball 200 times less. You're going to have a more turnover number. And you're going to have more passing yards with the other guys. So that's a flawed ideology you guys have. Well, Josh Allen's got 11 turnovers. Yeah, he's thrown the ball 580 times. Your guy's throwing the ball 425. I mean, come on, man. You're going to have more turnovers. But you're going to have a different result. The Bills are still doing the same thing that the Eagles are doing. But when you throw the ball, it's more of a higher percentage turnover play. That's what didn't make sense to me in that Chicago game. And Razor says their O-line isn't what it used to be. I agree with that. I still think Zach Martin's a Hall of Fame player. Here's the bottom line for me. I can't believe Gardner Minshew is going to beat Dak Prescott. I got the Cowboys 26-24 winning this game. I changed my tune on this because I cannot believe. By the way, there's a part of me, just so you know, that I'm not hating on the Eagles. I cannot believe Dak Prescott will lose a football game to Gardner Minshew. I cannot believe. Hey, do I think he can beat the Cowboys? I surely do. But if you're Dak Prescott, you cannot lose to Gardner Minshew. You cannot. I cannot believe that a $45 million quarterback is going to lay an egg in a game that they need. I can't take that take and go like this. Okay, because I'll tell you one thing. If Dak Prescott doesn't beat Gardner Minshew on Saturday, all bets are off with that guy. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you know you don't have the guy. I think this is such a massive game for Dak. I think the stakes are now even higher. The Eagles right now, they're on house money. Gardner Minshew, he beats the Eagles. I'm still in the one hole. Who cares? You got to win one of the last 3. You can't tell me you don't think the Eagles are going to win one of those last 3 games to clinch home field advantage. That's all that matters here. It's a team game. But Brian, I agree, man. But here, Brian, honest to God, watch this. Every single thing and all the check marks. Check to the Eagles winning this game. The quarterback, I cannot believe Dak Prescott is going to allow that and lose that game tomorrow. I just cannot believe that. They have to win that game, man. The Cowboys, he has to win that game. Dude, can we do something here? Can you name me a game where you went like this with Dak Prescott? Where you went like this? Yeah, you know what, man? You remember that game in the NFC Championship? Oh, wait, they didn't make it. Hey, do you remember that playoff game where Dak went for 462 yards? Oh, yeah, wait, he hasn't done that. How many times do you do this? That game last year with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes was one for the ages. I mean, the Bills destroyed Bill Belichick's Patriots. They destroyed them. I don't even think they punted in the game. Allen was spectacular against the Patriots last year. Jesse, I don't go by that stupid thought. You got to believe. Okay? I look at facts. You can't lose that game if you're Dak Prescott. Boy, I'll tell you, man, he loses that football game. Jerry Jones has got to say enough is enough. When do you move off the guy? He'll never win a significant game. This is a significant game for him. This is also a game that continues the dominance that he has had in the NFC East. You want to send a message, hey, we'll see you again in the playoffs. It's going to be the same thing. That'll be a completely different ball game with Jalen in the game. But if you're Dak, you got to beat this kid. Just like Jalen had to beat Cooper Rush, and he did. Remember something here. Okay, so we're going to have the battles of the backups this year in the rivalry with the Cowboys. Well, Dak beat your backup who was 4-0 going into the game. And one of the hottest dudes at the position going into that game. He beat him. He beat him. You got to beat Gardner Minshew, dude. You got to, and personally, I think the Eagles have a pretty good substitute teacher. I do. Silz, what if the Eagles lose to the Cowboys and Saints and Jalen comes back in week 18 to save the number 1 seed and he comes back and potentially wins the MVP? Sean, I think it's got a lot to do with what Allen, Burrow, and Mahomes does this weekend. What if they all three lose? What if they all three throw picks? Right? What if they don't play well? Do you automatically put Allen ahead of Jalen just because he played the game? I don't subscribe to that. I think you've got to be the MVP to me. You've got to be spectacular almost every single time that you step on the field. And I'll make this comment to you. Even in the Washington loss, I still think Jalen played well. I said it that day. I am not going to elevate a guy just because he played the extra game, lost through 3 picks, just because he showed up. Now, I think you get credit for that. I think you get credit for that, but I'm not going to put anybody ahead of anybody if you play shitty and you lose. I mean, this week is going to tell me a lot about Dallas, more so than, hey, that's another great point. Is this Dallas game going to tell you anything different about your Eagles that you don't already know? Dallas has got the answers that they've got to come up with for themselves. Have the Eagles been consistent? Yes. Have the Eagles been dominant? Yes. What else is there to know? Oh, can I win with my backup? Okay. God forbid in the postseason, could that happen? Maybe. But look at all the answers Dallas has. Where's Dallas's pass rush gone? Could Dallas run the ball? Can they defend a pass? Could Dak win a game? They got a lot of questions over there. They got a lot of questions. I just can't look. 13-1 versus 10-4. Dallas has beaten some pretty good football teams this year. You know, the Bengal team they beat earlier in the year, that Bengal team right now is a completely different looking ball team. That's the great thing about the NFL this year. I think anybody gets into the postseason, I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. I think anybody could jump up on anybody and win. That's the coolest thing about the NFL. Unlike the NBA and baseball, 7-game series, you pretty much know who the better team is. Same thing in the NBA, but they got 3 teams. Wake me up in June. Right? You just don't know what team jumps up. 26-24 Cowboys. Hey, I swear to you, 95% of me thinks the Eagles are winning. But I just can't think Dak's going to lose that game. Jalen took care of business against their shitty backup. He took care of business. Can the Cowboys? They have to. Dude, I will look at you and say this when we talk again after the holidays. Friends, Dak is not worth the money. He's holding the team back. You know, you guys can end Dak Prescott's time in Dallas. The question, hey, all the exposure the Cowboys get could be to the detriment of Prescott if he loses that game Saturday. Can you imagine? Minshew throws for 350 yards and 24-32, and he puts up 4 touchdowns on them, and they blow them out. Whoa! Mike McCarthy will be fired. Dan Quinn will be the next head coach. And get this, Dak Prescott, the questions will be, he should not be the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback. Trade his ass to Tennessee. Can you imagine you end Prescott's career in Dallas? I think it's possible and more likely feasible that could end up happening. Dude, if Jalen plays here, so you know, if Jalen plays in that game, I think they beat Dallas 31-21. 31-21 sounds right to me. Okay? Even in your own minds right now, all Eagle fans and all NFL fans listening to the show, there's a reason you pay a guy $45 million. It's not to put up empty calorie stats. Guy's got to win, man. I'm going to kill that guy if he loses. And it'll be a testament to the Eagles and their power. I'll tell you what, man, if Philadelphia goes into AT&T and wins that football game, holy shit, man. Are they better than I thought? They'll be better than I thought. They win that game, they're better than I thought, and they're 13-1. Team to beat. You know, I think it'll be a clear-cut conversation. The Eagles were the best team all year, and you know, I watched a ton of shows today. Because Jalen's not playing, they're talking about all these other games that are being played on Saturday and Sunday. They're kind of like downplaying it. Why? Because your MVP candidate's not in. Dude, this is going to be how about this? This is going to be one of the best sidebar games I've ever seen. And what I mean by that is the storylines that will come out of this, if Philadelphia rolls into that place, takes care of business, and beats that Cowboy team, holy cow, are they great. Dude, you can put a stamp on it. I beat your ass in Dallas at your place, one home field advantage, own the NFC East. Playoffs roll through Philly. Get this from Jason Kelce. I don't have to put my flip-flops on going through airports anymore. I could just stay at home with my Santa shoes on. Dude, I think, hey, man, I think every one of those Eagle guys are going to play their asses off. I think they may win. I really do, but I cannot believe that Prescott and the Cowboys can let that happen. Dude, it'll be a true testament to Jerry Jones and his inability to run the team. Total inability. 26-24, Cowboys. In a must-win for Dallas. For numerous reasons. Shit, the Eagles are sitting there going, oh, you know, our boy, we're going to rest him a little bit here. And we still think we can beat you. I do too. I do too. I think they're going to run the ball right down their throat. Let's say this to you. If the Philadelphia Eagles have 4 series of 12 plays or more, they will kill that team. Because you know why? Dak will be throwing from behind. There'll be picks, turnovers. that thing will look like an incredible train wreck. It'll look like a train wreck. You know that movie, The Fugitive, with Harrison Ford? The thing goes off the rails? That'll be the Cowboys. Go right off the rails. 41-17, something like that. If they put 4 12-plus play drives against Dallas, no moss. No moss. Jess, I'm hoping you guys are understanding. You're the better team. But I have a hard time saying Gardner Minshew, who's been sitting in mothballs for, 6 months, is going to walk off the field and face a $45 million quarterback, beat his pants off him, go back and sit in mothballs again until Jalen comes back. Dude, Dak Prescott's got to win this game. And I'm talking more as a football guy. If I'm in the front office, I'm going to do this to Jerry. Jerry, he's been a starting quarterback for 5-6 years, is it? What is it? He's never won a game. They've got to win. Okay? Let me ask you this here. Let's move on to the topics. There has been a ton of great moves by Howie Roseman. Gilmore, thank you very much. Happy holidays to you. 7 years, Rob? Rob, Dak's been the starting quarterback in Dallas for 7 years, and that guy hasn't won dick yet? Dude, it's over with on Saturday night if he loses. The Cowboys can end the Eagles can end that whole. Dude, Dallas will be forever damaged by the Eagles going into the postseason. You would have done something that they know this. We can't beat them. We can't beat them. Eagles beat that team in Dallas Saturday with Minshew, and Dak throws like 3 or 4 picks. They can't beat you. Shit, I don't think they can now. But I find it hard to believe that Dak Prescott loses this game.